Alright guys, I figured today I'll show you my meals along with my MyFitnessPal so I can kind of show you how I go through. So this morning I'm having this essentially just protein pancakes. I'll show you how I make them. I really like this brand of oatmeal packets. The macros are really good on that. I usually I put them in the microwave first, and then I kind of put them on top of my pancakes because I kind of like eating them separately. I have the Quest protein sample packets from the show this weekend, so I wanted to try that. Macros for that, I think there's 3 carbs, 21 protein for this flavor. And then I'm gonna mix it together with egg whites, blend that together. I usually find that blending in the blender kind of makes it a little bit more watery, so I've been just whisking it in a bowl lately and then cooking it. And then I'm gonna top it with a tablespoon of my Buff Bake protein white chocolate peanut butter. Those are the macros for that. And check out that fiber for 2 tablespoons. That's why I love Buff Bake. They're the best. Okay, and then I'm gonna cook it and show you guys the final product. Here we are, final product on my SpongeBob plate. So usually this makes 2 medium-sized pancakes or 3 if I'm feeling like spicing it up a bit. I like adding the oatmeal on top or either on the side, just because if you add it into the pancake, I don't think it gives the pancake any more flavor than I think it's totally fine just with the two ingredients. And if you don't have the macros to add the oatmeal, it's totally fine keeping it with just like the protein powder and the egg whites. It's just really simple. It's a nice low carb meal. White chocolate Buff Bake on top, little peanut butter pouring for you there. And I have some coffee with stevia and a gallon right here. I usually actually hated carrying around a gallon of water. I thought it was super annoying, but it really does help remind you to drink your water. Okay, so usually on MyFitnessPal you can see in this view, you can see like the total calories from what you have. But in order to see the total macros for each meal, you just have to click this guy on your phone, flip this around. Look, it'll show you right there. Okay, so for this meal, my first meal, we have 25 grams of carbs, 9 grams of fat from that guy, and a nice 35 grams of protein. So usually I do 6 tablespoons of egg whites, but I had more protein in my other meals today, so I just added a little more water. So I'll show you the rest of my meals a little bit later, and I'm gonna eat now. Disclaimer also, everyone makes their protein pancakes a little bit differently. I just like making it this way because macros are low and I don't have room to add in like random ingredients like pumpkin puree at this point because I'm still a week out from my next show. So simple and easy is what I like. Okay guys, I just got back from the gym, so I'm eating my next meal, which is, you can see here, 3 ounces of 96% lean ground beef from the butcher's cut. I already have that pre-cooked here because I did that yesterday. 100 grams of sweet potato, which is being heated up and cooked currently. And then 75 grams of cucumber, which I have already weighed out right here. So I pre-cooked my meat yesterday. I usually just pre-cook a whole package of meat and then put it in a Tupperware and then take out as I need it, because I don't use the same amount every single time because sometimes I like to switch it up. So I have some leftover sweet potato from when I cooked it this weekend. So I have, essentially for this, I just set the scale to 0, and you can use the scale in grams or ounces. Usually I weigh everything in grams or ounces, depending on if it's like a meat or something like that. I'll place it on 0 and then take out what I need from here. So that's 56 grams, 83. Perfect. And then I have a little bit left over for, so there it is. So I also have all my meals pre-planned out from the night before. I always do that, so when I get home and I'm coming to make my meals, I already have it kind of just set out. It's essentially just a meal plan, and you just have to follow it for the next time you're going to eat. So trying to track food, trying to track food throughout the day and just eating as you go, you kind of end up with like weird macros at the end of the day. So pre-planning ahead of time makes it really easy. You just have to follow the plan for the whole day, and then you just go, and if you already have something that you know you want to eat, you can plan that ahead and then work the rest of your day around it. So I tend to do that. And what else here? So since I already have it planned out, I'll show you guys how to go ahead and like find the food and add it. All the food that I normally eat gets saved into the recent category over here. So these are like the foods that I'll go ahead and normally eat, and then you can literally just click it if you've already tracked it before. And then when you search for something, we'll do that, and a lot of options pop up. There's usually a lot of different options, but if you could scan, you can use this barcode and scan particular foods. If you could do that, it's usually the most accurate. Usually you don't want to like weigh anything in cups just because that's also inaccurate. So if there's an option, nope, that's not it. If there's an option, like usually it'll have an option like this to change the serving size to grams or ounces or something like that. It's much more accurate. So there's that, and I'm gonna eat this because it's my post-workout meal and carbs are necessary. Alright, so I'm going to work a little bit later, so I'm organizing my meals for that I'm bringing to work with me. I'm making a salad. My Fitmark bags actually, depending on the bag, provides you with some Tupperware, which is really nice. It's really deep, so I can put nice salad in there. This is what I'm having in my salad, some romaine. That's pre-weighed 3 ounces of chicken, 6 grape tomatoes, 50 grams of cucumber, and 50 grams of raw red onion. And then this honey mustard, 1 carb, using 2 servings for that. I also just wanted to say, I think a lot of people sometimes don't weigh their vegetables because they think vegetables are a free food. There's certain vegetables that have more carbs than others, so if you're on prep, I would absolutely weigh out your vegetables just to kind of be consistent. If you've never weighed out your vegetables before and you always use the same amount, then it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But if you're trying to stay as consistent as possible, it's kind of important to make sure that you're weighing out anything that has carbs in it or any sort of calories at all. Like, even though these 6 cherry grape tomatoes are only 3 carbs, if I only have 60 grams to work with for the day, making something like that inconsistent so close to showtime is kind of not the right way to do it. In my macro ebook, I kind of explain that there's levels of how strict you have to be or should be or want to be or anything like that based off of your goals. So being really kind of more strict towards the end of a prep cycle or like a cutting phase or anything that you're particularly doing, where it's more important to be consistent, not necessarily accurate, just making sure you're doing the same thing every day and tracking what you can and what you need to, is more important than if you're kind of just trying to live a healthy lifestyle. You don't have to necessarily be as on point and like meticulous with weighing out your lettuce. You don't really have to do that. It all really depends on your goals, but for me right now, I'm a week and a half away from my next show, so I'm weighing out my vegetables, and that's just how I do it. Okay, so for my last meal of the day, I'm having protein pancakes again because they're delicious and they're an easy way to hit my macros. I'm gonna use 2 servings, so it's gonna be 92 grams of egg whites. And then I always also, like I said before, just for accuracy purposes, I also take my protein, and instead of just like actually using the 1 scoop, I'll weigh it on the scale using like the actual serving size of grams that it's supposed to be, just to be more accurate, because sometimes the scoop itself is a little off. Anyways, just do that. Hold on. I also have P28 caramel turtle high protein spread. The macros are a little high on this one. There's 18 fat, 11 carb, and 14 grams of protein for 2 tablespoons, so that's 240 calories. Most peanut butters are like 200 calories, so it's a little bit higher calorie, but it's delicious and it's thick, and the serving size is actually 44 grams. If you're a peanut butter addict like me, you know that the normal serving size of peanut butter is like 32 grams, so it's really thick and creamy. I'm gonna put this in a little Tupperware, take it with me along with after I cook my little mixture here. I'm gonna take that with me and put it in a Tupperware, eat that later. So I just wanted to show you guys that. Where I'll show you the macros for it too. So that's gonna be my last meal of the day. See that? So the PE Science Snickerdoodle protein, it's so good. 6 tablespoons of egg whites, and the caramel turtle, 1 tablespoon of the peanut butter, so it's only 120 calories for that. And total macros for that meal going to be 7 grams of carbs just coming from the protein, I think, 11 grams of fat, and 41 grams of protein. I'm reading this like backwards on the camera. There's that for that. So that's like one of my favorite meals to have if I have lower carbs and I need a meal with no carbs in it, so I can make sure I have enough carbs for my pre and post workout meals. My like head's cut off over here. I got a nice little ugly bun going on. So if I need to have, you should be having 25% or so of your total daily carbs for your pre and post workout meal to make sure you have enough energy to train and enough carbohydrates to replenish your muscles after your workout. So I like to make sure I absolutely have whatever carbs I'm available allotted that day for pre and post workout meals. So some meals have to be no carb, so I like to do the salad or just like a meat and a vegetable or something like higher fat with the peanut butter and protein pancakes. Kind of perfect for like a sweet meal, low carb. It's great. It's my favorite. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Okay, so I'm headed to work soon, and my last meal that I'm eating today, not my last meal of the day, but the last meal that I'm showing you guys right before I head out. Very simple, 2 whole eggs, and I'm gonna eat 150 grams of that sweet potato. All I see are protein, carbs, and fats. So, yeah, that wasn't funny. Okay, here are the macros for the sweet potatoes. And hold on. Where are they at? Just dropped my phone. Okay. So we have 275 calories, 31 carbs, 10 fat, 15 protein for the 2 eggs, 150 grams of sweet potatoes. Total macros for the day, ending with those 5 meals, are 100 grams of carbs, 35 fat, and 130 grams of protein. I'm doing that for the next few days. My coach is having me check in daily with him just to keep a close eye on how things are going. I'm already back at my stage weight. Today's Wednesday after my last competition weekend, and then I have the rest of this week and a full week next week to get a little leaner and a little tighter for the next show. So I'm gonna talk to you guys about some questions you had on my Instagram a little bit later. So I'll probably do that tomorrow and then upload the video tomorrow. So have a good rest of your day.